So welcome to Environmental Geomechanics live interactive session number 2. I am DN Singh, your course instructor, and with me are my research associates Mr. Arif, Mr. Goli and Mr. Lijit. I hope you are enjoying this course, and the non-conventional way of teaching or putting forward my thoughts in particular. I have got some questions, and I thought I'll first finish of these questions which have come offline. So the Kamath, every case will be different. However, will the high pressure of gas, dye or mercury not disturb the soil material characteristics? What is the context of the question is not clear. So please make questions with some context. Is it not? But as I understand, you are trying to hint at the material characterization, particularly surface area, specific surface area. So you are right. When you expose the soil mass or the geomaterials under high pressure, or when you are intruding mercury into the matrix of the soil mass, definitely some changes are going to occur. But then the question is, if these techniques are not utilized, what is that you are going to do? So you have to devise some non-invasive techniques which are also equally complicated and would require invasive techniques data to standardize. Alright. So the biggest question is, if you not following these techniques, then what? And there is nothing which you can really use for characterization of the material. The objective should be to minimize the disturbance caused to the material because of any of these types of intrusion or exposures. So the Kamath, does dredging remove the organic matter from sediments? Dredging cannot remove organic matter from the sediments. When you are doing dredging, chances are that you might be extracting soils from the ocean beds or the river beds or the lake beds which are containing highly organic matter. Fine. So please understand, the whole concept of dredging is to remove the deposited material. It is blind of the material as such. Once you have taken out the material, you characterize it and try to understand what type of and what components of the soils are present in the dredge material and how to characterize it and utilize it. So Kamath, is organic matter from sediments important in dredging? Please explain the brief. I think I have already discussed this. Which of the following reactions will not occur during agricultural activities? This is asked by Venkatesh G. So, which of the following reactions will not occur during agricultural activities?
So,
yeah, you want to answer?
Yes. Basically, this is related to one of the assignment questions. So, there we have given different options related to soil microbial interaction, soil chemical interaction and soil heat interaction. So few of the learners got confused and they have answered mostly that soil thermal, that is heat interaction, will not occur. But the fact is, whenever there is a microbial respiration within the soil, as well as whenever there is a chemical interaction, if the reaction is exothermic, there will be a heat release from the reaction. So that heat sometimes can be in such a way that it's rising means whole system will be, there may be considerable rise in the temperature of the whole system. In that case, there will be a soil heat interaction also subsequently. So means means as far as the question is concerned, there will be all three interactions simultaneously can go on within the soil mass.
Yeah, so you may have this chemical, biological, thermal interactions which are taking place in the soils because of the agricultural activities. When you put in some fertilizer into the field, there could be some chemical reaction, and there could be some thermal reaction also because of the exothermic reaction which might occur between the soil and the fertilizer which you are pouring in or which you are putting into the soil mass. And of course, biological interactions will always be there.
That will make it more cultivated. And
Yes. Let us take one question from the online. Harihara. Sir, why sands are more prone to microbial activities? There is a wonderful paper which is written by myself and Shashank on characterization of aeolian sands. Please go through that paper and read it carefully, and that will answer your question. That the surface features which are present on the sands are the best parking lots for bacteria and the microbial activities, and that is the reason why sands will give you a better influence of microbial association. Venkatesh ji, sir, to account for small errors which are not considered in classical theories, factor of safety is proposed. Will the factor of safety is not sufficient to take into account the things that are not considered? It's a wonderful question which you have asked. My answer would be factor of safety is normally associated with the mechanical response of the material. However, you must be realizing that the emphasis is on understanding the influence of energy fields apart from mechanical energy fields. And in that case, the factor of safety cannot be defined by using the concepts which are prevailing in the classical geomechanics. So for each of these energy fields, you have to define the factor of safety term. Sorry. And that would help you in maybe taking a decision that how much the material can be loaded or unloaded to obtain a certain response. Harihara, what is the difference between tanning and spinning? I don't know. You are the best judge of what is tanning and what is spinning. Look at the dictionary and you can find out the difference between these terms. As far as this environmental geomechanics is concerned, I don't think I have come across tanning and spinning. Anywhere?
What side?
Venkatesh ji, sir, amount of heat energy generated and electrochemical energy generated during compaction will be small. Then, is it necessary to include these factors also? Yes, I think as I must have discussed when, in the class, that there are several effects which we are ignoring, or the compaction theory ignores several micromechanical, thermochemical processes that occur in the system. Because you are simply computing the height of the hammer, which is falling from a certain height, is imparting so much energy, and this energy is getting consumed in compaction of the material, which is not correct. Because when you are using energy principle, then you have to use all the forms of the energy which are present in the system, and that is what I have discussed in the lecture. Gautam, while computing consolidation settlement, why to find effective stress at mid portion, why not at top or bottom? You are free to do at top and bottom, but again the mid portion happens to be the representative averaging. So you can divide the whole thing into number of sections, and you can repeat this exercise. You can write a MATLAB code or you can use finite element softwares to do this exercise. Nothing wrong with that. What is the difference between angle of repose and angle of internal friction? Gothamam. Angle of repose, I think you must have realized, is the angle when I drop a granular material from a certain height and whatever slope it attains under the normal circumstances. That is the angle of repose. Correct? Now, angle of internal friction is the one when I try to mobilize shear strength out of the material, and what shear strength gets mobilized in granular materials because of friction is the angle of internal friction. Logic says that angle of internal friction cannot be more than angle of repose. Harihara, it is one of the assignment questions regarding leather industry in that tanning and spinning were used.
Basically, tanning is a process to clean the skin that we get in the leather industry.
So have you used this somewhere?
Tanning, but spinning, I don't think so.
Please.
That too not extensively.
Please mention the question number. Anyway, we'll try to see that.
Yeah.
Hanumantha Rao Chitten. How sands are more prone to collapse than clays? Who says this? My answer would be clays are more susceptible to collapse as compared to sands. So, I don't know in what context you are using these terms. Is overburden in industrial byproduct and it produced in coal-based electricity generation? Yes, overburden is the one which is the soil cover above the mineral or the coal deposit. You have to remove it so that you can take out the coal. Is it possible to get some dry density at the same dry density at different moisture contents? Why not? For a given gamma D, you can have two moisture contents. Compaction curve is a good example of this. Dry of optimum and wet of optimum. Piyush Kumar Malviya, what to prepare for PhD interviews in IITB? Everything, whatever you can think of. 2 times attended the interview, not got selected. Please advise some tips. I don't think I can give you any tips. If you have a question related to the subject, I'll be very happy to answer your question. You better contact us online through Skype and let's have one-to-one interaction, Piyush, and I think that would serve you better. Let us try to understand why you could not clear the interview. Are you really interested in research? This is what you have to demonstrate through your thought process, through your questions, and through your body language. All right. Any other questions? Fine.
That's top right corner.
Any other question? This course is mostly to prepare researchers to tackle the advanced problems which the society is facing, and this is where I thought that let me speak out what is in my mind as far as the questions which industry is posing to the professionals like us, and it's up to you guys to come out with a solution which are implementable and I would say feasible. So when you study this course and when you go through the videos, you should try to relate the concepts which are being taught over there to the problems which are existing in the industry. Newspapers, news clippings, when you talk to the industry guys, they must be talking about what the problems are, how to solve these problems. This is what actually I am trying to give you the back enough information which might help you in dealing with these type of situations. Thank you. Okay. So we are closing this session. Thank you very much for being with us.